Are you familiar with this situation at Aussie Media?
I Googled it and was like, like,
okay, until
do they
about
want to buy Newsbroke?
Until about a week ago, no one had ever seen an Aussie Media link in their email. No one had ever seen it in the wild. However, what we learned is that this guy, Carlos Watson, who was on MSNBC briefly, is the Music Man. Like he was able to obtain millions and millions of dollars in venture capital money for this media enterprise that he claimed a readership of 50 million people for, even though no one I know has ever even heard of Aussie Media or sent me a link or did anything of that sort.
Wait, 50 million? That's like, what does the New York Times get?
He was like, counting every email address as a reader, right? So every email address he was managing to scrape, he counted as a reader. He claimed also to have something like 26 million YouTube followers. And they had a meeting. They had a meeting. This is amazing. So last week, the New York Times broke this story. They had a meeting with Goldman Sachs to try to raise money for Aussie Media. And he was touting YouTube being a great partner of theirs and doing all this stuff. So he said, well, I'm going to put on the YouTube guy right now, this executive from YouTube, and just listen to him. And it was another executive from Aussie Media impersonating the YouTube executive. In a conference with Goldman Sachs.
They yes men themselves. Like they did what the yes men do, you know, that the lefty sort of like
themselves. Yes.
Yeah.
Here's why I'm not mad. They're grifting Goldman Sachs. It's the same thing. Exactly. If you're grifting up, it's a good thing.
Here's what I bitch about though with it is that the difference between this and a very successful company is very, very, very thin. So what happened to Aussie Media is after this all came out, they shut their doors actually on Friday. They just lost journalists and then the board members resigned, and then they just shut down. Facebook did something very, very similar throughout all of its last several years, lying to advertisers about how many people watch their videos, lying to advertisers about their audience reach. At one point, they did a statistic in 2017 that they had the reach of 25 million more young people in the United States than exist in the United States. And yet,
not yet though. But once they
eventually,
gonna, you know, it's all gonna happen. They'll make babies.
But because Facebook was a known quantity and already successful, they let it slide and they're lionized because Aussie was a startup company that lied in the wrong way, although the exact same way, then they get the brunt of it. So that's kind of my bitch there.
Oh, I love that. The Theranos of media.
The Theranos of media.
I think it's inspiring. It's something we can all do. You know, if we just get one friend and we can book a meeting with Goldman Sachs, we can all do this.
I need to do that. That's what I want to do. I want like a fake media empire.
Yeah.
But real. Also real. Like I think the real part would be fun too. That's very good. I had no idea what Aussie was, and I had to look at it. Like everyone's like, "Oh my God, Aussie's going under!" Like who?
Right.
And someone's going to
but
jail eventually.
In Carlos Watson's mind, it was the biggest thing in history. He was claiming that he broke AOC. That he broke the story of that he.
What do you mean? AOC as a person?
Yes, that they reported on AOC before anybody else.
I love that.
That was their claim. Their whole thing was the new and the next, and they claimed they had broke all of these people. Amanda Gorman, AOC, blah blah blah. They had not. Like somebody did a study of it, and it's like, yeah, you wrote a 400-word aggregating piece like 3 weeks after everybody else had written it, and you're claiming in your promotional materials that you broke these people.
I love that. I mean, yeah, every single industry has its own grift, and I think it also just takes the pressure off of Quibi. You know what I'm saying? They've been the brunt for months now. Now we move on. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.